Hello, pursuers. Welcome to another episode of the Pursuit of Happiness podcast. I'm your lovely podcast host, Naz Kazimi. Let's get into it. It literally just took me like 20 minutes to figure out my mic situation. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I think I figured it out. God, it's because I don't have a studio, and then the things change all the time, so I'm always trying to fix it and make sure that it's like loud enough and my mouth isn't close enough and all those kind of things, so you guys, if there's any feedback that you can give me, please let me know. I have a Mayona podcasting kit, so hopefully this plays out good. Today we're going to be chatting about the Valley Persian style. I'm so excited to be just reviewing it, as we know that it was just so ironic with the start of the Valley. Because as you know, when it originally started, I think I'd mentioned this, I just thought that it was so weird that it had started, and then shortly after the protests in Iran kind of intensified. And mind you, it also started while I was gone and I was in Mexico. And then right when it ended, the bombings in Iran started between US and Israel and Iran. And I am in no way saying that these are connected. I just think that it's ironic how the timing of the Valley Persian style, just kind of coincided with what's going on in Iran. It's just, I hope that it brought people together. Like, Iranians are sitting there at home watching the Valley Persian style, and at the same time they're like, what's going on in Iran? Like, these are the things that we should be proud of. It kind of reunites them more. Like, we did come to America and Canada, and we pretty much left Iran for like a better future, and all these kind of things, right? Does that make sense? Anyways, so yeah, that was kind of interesting to see. Let's get into the Valley, but I don't want to live in the Valley. I kept saying that today to Mercedes, and she was laughing her head off because it's, I'm trying to and I love Sky, but I'm trying to imitate Sky. And she's like, I don't want to live in the Valley. You know how she said that? It was just so kind of funny. But I don't want to live in the Valley. Anyways, let's start off with episode 8. So it's the Valley Persian Style season 1, episode 8. MJ and Tommy are chatting about her door knocking as she wants to make $1 million in commission working at the agency. MK has, I think, had done something to her face, because you can just see, her body's getting, leaner, but her face kind of looks, bloated, so I think filler. Just don't think she looks so natural anymore, and we'll get into it, but at the beginning of the season, I didn't really like MJ. I'm like, oh, same person, she's back, and it's just not, I don't know, it just wasn't as... let's just say I wasn't excited to see her. But now, again, as this episode goes on, I really fall in love with MJ more. So, like I said, her body's getting thinner. Face kind of looks stuffed with filler. I just wish that she was just happy with how she looked, because she was actually a very beautiful girl. Tanin has Reza Jax come and help her with her skincare photo shoot as she's about to launch her website and host an official launch party. So apparently her name's actually supposed to be Tanin, but in Farsi it's Tanin. So I don't know why calling her Tanin was bad. But anyway, she was on All About TRH, and which is another podcast, and they're obviously way more established. They've been around a lot longer. They're Middle Eastern as well. They're Chaldean, which, by the way, I've never heard of Chaldeans, but I think they speak Arabic, and they're Catholic. So you just learn something new every day. There's a huge population of them in Detroit, Michigan. But anyways, they had Tanin on, and she was saying that she never signed her contract. She was the last person to sign her contract for the Valley, because she actually wanted to... she was working a corporate job, and she didn't want to quit she didn't want to be on TV while she had a corporate job. It just wouldn't make her look good. So instead, what she had done was she was hoping that she could launch her skincare line, because launching her skincare line before signing the contract would mean that any money that she makes from her skincare line she gets to keep, because it's her business. If they start any businesses while on any Bravo show, I believe. I know that's a housewife thing, but if they start any businesses while they are contracted with the show that they're on, the reality show they're on, they have to split some of the proceeds, because apparently it's Bravo's advertising for them. It's a free way of marketing, so they obviously need a cut, right? It's Bravo. the more and more you learn about them, you just kind of realize that it's just a big money making machine, as it should be. Everything's a corporation, you know. But anyway, she said that she signed her contract to be on the Valley as soon as she realized that she was going to get, like, I think, I don't quote me on this. This is just what I recall and what I think that I recalled. She could get investors to start off her Skin by Tanin business. So as soon as that was a go, she quit her corporate job and she put all her time into this because she figured, okay, well, I'm going to be on the show. This is perfect advertising for my skincare line. So, and then I heard another podcast, well, same one, but then they had Sky on, and Sky was like, and I don't think Sky was digging necessarily at Tanin, but she was just kind of saying, I was established already before coming on the show. Like, my business has already been business for 6-7 years. But I heard Sky's interview first, and then I heard Tanin's. I'm like, okay, now I know kind of why Sky said that. Again, not a dig at Tanin, not a dig at Tanin specifically, but more like just saying, like, because, for example, like Gigi as well, you know, like all these kind of show businesses that they, and then Reza and his husband Adam with the whole nut business, you know, the Persian nut business. And again, not that it's a bad thing to start on the show, but Sky was just kind of pointing out that I was already established. I didn't need the show to really, I mean, it helps, but it's not what I needed to launch it. So that kind of made a little bit more sense to me. You guys just got, I guess there's beef going on now. I don't really get into the, like, this is the difference in me and all the other kind of like Bravo celeb kind of things. Like, I love the shows and I love watching them, but I don't need to be following them having beef like outside of the shows. Like, I like to watch the shows so that I can immerse myself in something that's not real life. And I can just kind of watch a little bit of drama, you know? But do I really care to really, really follow, like, and know every little detail about what's going on in these people's lives? No. Now, don't get me wrong. If I hear it here and there, I'm kind of interested and I kind of tune in and I hear what's going on, especially if it's on like a podcast that I listen to, or, you know, it helps more when I follow them. But it's nothing that I'm going to go submerge my life into because, like, I'm so invested in these people, you know? I'm invested in them when they're on my TV screens, but other than that, like, let them live their lives. Next, we see Sky talking to her family in Iran, and she's talking to them in Farsi, and this kind of really made me, it really hits home for me because A, I hear her speaking the Farsi, and then also because most of our family is in Iran too, and with everything going on, who knows, I'm not going to see them again. My mom's mom, which is my grandma, and my daughter's great-grandma, she's still alive, and I would love if my daughter could meet her and we could do like a 4-generation photo shoot. And even if not that, if we don't get a chance to go, because it's a little bit harder for my daughter because her father is non-Iranian, so to get a passport, etc., it's a bit tough. She'd have to go on a visa, and then obviously money, you know, like we're not in the most financial situation to go, and I don't really want to ask my family to fork up that money. They've already helped me so much. But even if I or my daughter can't go, at least my mom to go to see her mom before she passes. My parents really never got to see all their other parents that passed. And my dad never got to see his mom and his dad right when they passed. Like, he was just in contact with them on the phone because he lived here and they were back home. And like and then my mom's dad as well, like, was back in Iran while my mom was here. And all three of them passed in their sleep. So maybe, like, you don't necessarily talk to your parents, especially when they're so long distance every single day. And back then, like, phone, it was expensive to call, you know. And then, like, you never know that tomorrow they're not going to wake up. So maybe you just miss a day and, like, calling them. You're like, okay, well, we didn't talk today. I'll call them, like, in the next couple days. And then before that, they're gone. So distance kind of doesn't help in that sense. So watching this made me kind of experience those emotions all over again, you know, because it's very real and it's very true, and it happens to all of us, not just Iranians, anyone that lives far away from their parents. Tanin, Gigi, and MJ meet up for a cosmetic date, like to get Botox and whatnot. And then Sham's school calls, I guess because Tommy hadn't gone to pick him up, so they call, and MJ takes the call, and obviously she's upset. The school says that Shams has been waiting for 30 minutes for his dad, and MJ's mood, you can see, completely changes. Because of her work, yes, even filming is considered work. She's unable to do as much of the drop off and pick up, and she moves the role over to Tommy. And he says that when she finally gets a hold of him, he says that he's been looking for parking for 25 minutes. I mean, I understand this is frustrating and completely unacceptable. With that being said, Shams is safe and he's not going to die. Perhaps Tommy just needs some time adjusting and adapting to how long it will take to get to the school and looking for parking, etc. This will take a few times, but like any good leader, you'll need to allow your disciples to make mistakes and to learn from them. And like, I'm kind of disappointed in the way that she behaved and how she kind of talked about Tommy, because I understand that in that moment it's frustrating, but if you're that frustrated, like, get in the car and go to him. Don't just keep trying to call Tommy. And she even says when asked, she's like, I'm the one that usually does the pickup and the drop off. And so because she's been talking to Mauricio, who is her boss, and she works at the agency, and he says, you're going to be missing a lot of the pickup and the drop off. So she's kind of given that role to Tommy. And then I think it was Tanin who asks, well, who usually picks him up? She's like, I'm the one that usually picks him up, but now I can't. So that's why I've given the role to Tommy. Well, maybe he just needs some time to adjust to figuring it out. Yes, unacceptable. But one thing I know about Tommy is that he loves his kid. And I don't think that he intentionally missed pick up with Champs because of anything else other than he's just maybe misjudged the timing that it took for him to get there. I don't like Tommy as a husband or a boyfriend. I think he's incredibly rude, and I think that he is not romantic at all, and it's kind of an ick. But from what I know from listening to him and just kind of being a fan of the Till the Dirt podcast, I know for a fact that he loves his kid and that he did intentionally because he was sleeping or trying to party or doing something that I think that he would drop those first and get Champs before he before even thinking about anything else. Like, he's not selfish that way. So I was kind of disappointed to see MJ throw him under the bus, although it was in the moment. It was obviously like not in a script, like that's not scripted, so she was probably just caught off guard and just really kind of shaken up. But if that were the case, I would say instead of maybe talking shit, like just run there and see if he's okay. But she did get a hold of him in the meantime, and I'm sure she felt like shit after because she realized that nothing was actually wrong. He just actually was looking for parking. It now leads to MJ's Twilight Open, and Layla's there, who's Gigi's sister. I feel like she's like a little bit thirsty. Like, now she's on the show again, like you were in Shaw's and whatnot, and I understand how MJ and production were allowed to use her house for the Twilight Open, because I'm pretty sure if it was any other client of MJ's, there would be a lot of like bells and whistles that they'd have to go through, sign, etc., etc. But she kind of had her sister's on the show. One of her best friends is on the show, who's MJ. So she kind of has experience being in this role, and I think that if it's going to help sell her house plus have MJ and her sister being on the show, I don't think that it was as many kind of documents to sign to get the house on the show. So I see from that aspect why Layla would be in this position and be shown on this show, even though it's like 10 years later. But I don't know, just kind of was giving a little bit of thirsty vibes, just a little. I said, how convenient is it that Layla's house is the one that needs to be sold and there's an event at, but it makes a lot of sense. I love when MJ says that Reza's 2 cents is his love language, because I feel like in my Persian family, like constantly criticizing and questioning why you've done what you've done is the love language in my family. So I get that. Reza says that Tommy is not open to having a conversation with him, but I thought that they had agreed to or made a consensus that they would talk after production with no cameras. So I don't know why Reza's so upset that Tommy didn't want to fist pump him. That's so weird. And Reza's saying, Tommy didn't come near me. How come you didn't go near Tommy and say, hey, Tommy, or just say something? Like, you literally just went and you grabbed the ice when Tommy was dropping the ice off at the Twilight Open, and then you just kind of like walked away and you expected Tommy to come up to you when Tommy specifically sent you a message and said that you guys can talk post-production. Like, it's just, these are the things about Reza that I'm remembering again why he's so hard to like. The guy's in sweats he's been running around all day trying to get supplies to MJ. Shams is in the car. As much as I do not approve of Tommy's behavior this season, I'm on his side for this. Like, Reza's blowing things way out of proportion. Dennis and Gigi arrive and they bring some jewelry. The Valley jewelry. I don't even remember when they decided to do the Valley Girl jewelry, but they brought some jewelry. Mauricio shows up. So funny. He's like the Cynthia Bailey, literally on every Broadway show, but I'm not complaining. I love him. Sky and Bombshot show up. First, Reza wants to confront Sky, and Sky shuts it down, which I think is great. If you don't want to be part of something, you don't want to create a scene, don't give it any energy or time. But at the same time, I understand that they're filming a show together. So Reza is like trying to be like Kyle, who's trying to be like Giselle, who's trying to be like the force multiplier. So, I appreciate that MJ's hanging out with Sky so she doesn't feel excluded, but it's a constant lecture. Like, MJ's just constantly lecturing her and just not allowing them to have a good time. And I think MJ needs to allow time and it to happen organically for Sky and Tanin to say hi to each other, because like, you can't just go up to Sky or Tanin, either of them, and ambush them and be like, go say hi to the other person. Like, no, Tanin's already been there for a while. Tanin has the entire group around her, and Sky is just not comfortable being with them. I would probably do the same. I wouldn't go up to the entire group when I'm not friends with them. Like, it's a little bit, I'm not saying Sky was intimidated, but it's a little bit intimidating when there's like, they're all standing there and you know that you're not getting along with half of them. So you're like, am I going to get like ambushed right now? Or is this going to be like a genuine hi, you know? So as much as I think that Sky should have gone over at some point and said hi to Tanin, I also understand when she's like, well, Tanin knows I don't get along with those guys, so I'm pretty sure that when she sees that, like, and she feels a little bit more comfortable, she might come up to me. I get it, but again, Sky communicating that, it just comes off completely strong, because the way that she's communicating, it's like and Sky's accent isn't too bad, but it's like just the crossover, like the emphasis on certain words, it kind of makes it seem like she's being aggressive when she's really just communicating. Again, same thing. My mom does the exact same thing. Like, sometimes I just want to punch her because I feel like she's being so angry. But it's not that she's being angry. It's just the way that it's being communicated back. It's like the emphasis on certain words, and like it sounds like she's giving attitude, and she's, in Farsi we say she's so ahmu, you know, but like this is just the way that they speak. So now we're getting into episode 9, which is actually the season finale. So the season only had 9 episodes. Greg gives Tanin with the plague with her products inside. As much as I love Tanin and her relationship with Greg, I just find them when they're together to be so awkward. Like, even when they're on the couch talking, like Tanin's body is faced away from Greg. So I know that they love each other. And I know that maybe Greg is in love with her, but I don't think Tanin is in love with Greg. I think she loves Greg, but she's not in love with him. Like, it's not, oh my God, I love this guy, and I just want to like rip his clothes off and have sex with him. It's not like that, you know? Greg seems like a little bit more of a softer guy, which there's nothing wrong with that, but I feel like Tanin is kind of like over it. Like, she just needs something a little bit more aggressive, you know? Reza and MJ get together for lunch. Reza feels upset that Tommy wasn't as warm with him as he wanted, and then he's asking MJ if she's happy, etc. in her marriage. I'm glad that MJ put him in his place, honestly, and said that you're crossing the line, because I 1000% agree. Okay, so Reza, first you're sad that Tommy's not coming up to you and fist pumping you at Layla's house, aka MJ's or Maris's Twilight Open. Okay. And then based off that, now you're going, well, are you happy? How come he's not supportive for you? So you want to be good with this guy, but now you're shitting on him on national television and saying, MJ, why are you not more pissed off that he's not more supportive of you? Like, bro, pick a side and stay the fuck out of people's relationships, okay? You're sad that Tommy's not warm and receptive to you, and then you're telling MJ to divorce him. Like, what the fuck? You're contradicting yourself. And honestly, once Tommy sees this on TV, and I'm not too sure if it's even going to matter anymore because Mercedes and Tommy are now getting a divorce, there's absolutely no way that you can ever have a conversation or be cordial ever again with Tommy, because once Tommy sees that when Mercedes is there, you're trying to be all nice, I want to be friends with Tommy, but then once you kind of feel like you're being rejected, you go and you shit talk Tommy. Like, no, you pick a fucking lane and stay there. But this shows your true colors. You don't really give a shit about being friends with Tommy or not. You're just kind of trying to have a good storyline, and now I understand why Tommy kind of kept his distance. This conversation completely proves that you haven't changed anything. I find that Reza gets so offended when someone expresses how they feel and it's not what he agrees on. He can't accept someone's opinion if it's perhaps might offend him. And he can't accept someone's difference of opinion if it's different from his. And these are his shortcomings. So you want to talk about shortcomings, Reza? Those are yours. Gigi and Reza Jax go to a Valley Salt Cave. Remember, I try to remember all the names that these people go to. Trust me, I've been doing this for years with like OC and Beverly Hills. And they discussed the Tanin Sky lunch because Reza was there and he's the one that kind of set it up. And I'm surprised he would talk to Gigi about it because she's so biased towards Sky. Like She's like, well, when someone's trying to be made to my friends. Okay, first of all, Gigi, you're like 40 years old and you're a mom. 10 years ago, you were acting the same. Clearly, nothing's changed. The amount of joints that you smoke don't calm you down. They're causing psychosis in your brain, girl. Seriously. It's just, I mean, I don't even really want to talk about Gigi as much anymore, you know? I just don't think that there's... Just go watch Shaw's. Nothing's changed. Tommy and MJ go see a therapist. Tommy is emotional and obviously passionate, but it's making him come off as really aggressive and close-minded. This is kind of where, as much as I like Tommy, I can see he does have a shortcoming in this, and it's just from what I can see that we've been shown. He doesn't want to understand where Maris is coming from, and it's okay to not agree with her, and you don't have to be friends with anyone you don't want to be friends with, Tommy, but I do notice a pattern with MJ. That she has men around her that don't respect or support any of her decisions. Reza. It's either his way, and if you don't agree with what he says, it's out. You know, then he will kind of like act weird towards MJ. Now we have a Tommy. Tommy doesn't want to listen to what she has to say. Her opinion comes second to his. It has to be their way or no way at all. And it makes me, honestly, this is where, when I saw her in this light, I was like, you know what? She's actually a really good person. She's actually one of the ones that has changed a lot. I mean, if you want to compare, did you see Gigi? Hasn't changed one bit. But Maris, she's more calm. She's more, and even when people give her an opinion that's different from hers, she sits there, she takes it, she does exactly what you're told, like a therapist would say. She gives it a minute, she's silent, she allows herself to process it, and then she responds. She never responds to rebut. She's always responding to the information that she's been given, and I really respect her for that. I really do. So my opinion about Maris has totally changed because of that. Natasha accompanies Amir to the cemetery to remember and honor his ex, Lauren. I respect Natasha and this relationship that she's in with Amir so much, but honestly, I'm being honest right now, I don't know how I would react if I was Natasha or in this position. So all I can do is respect her for being so open and to realize that Amir had a love before her, but at this moment he's in love with her, because I just don't know how I would be able to process that. Like my man crying over another girl, even though she's passed and she's not really alive. I don't know if it would kill me, because I mean, I'm not in a relationship, but I don't know if at this point it would kill me that like he's still emotional about someone that's passed, or I really would show support because of that passing, like we were able to be together, you know? I don't know how I would see it, but I have to respect her, and it's just a lead to follow if anyone is ever in that position. Like, it can be this good. Like, it doesn't always have to be, like, falling apart, you know? Then you see Reza talking to Adam, and on camera, again, Reza fucking up, he says that MJ has expressed that Tommy doesn't make enough money and is not supportive enough, and this is exactly why MJ, in that conversation at lunch, Reza, did not feel comfortable with you crossing the line and talking about her relationship. And she's not as open as she was in the past to tell you about her relationship, because you're going to come exactly like this moment and fucking throw it in her face. Like, how embarrassing. She trusted you with that information. And the minute that she's not there, you put that information on camera. I get there, you're on a show. I understand. But then maybe this information that wasn't said on camera can be kept off camera. What I'm interested to see is how MJ continues her relationship forward with Reza now that Tommy's gone. Like, is she going to remember these moments and be like, even though I'm not with Tommy, and Reza was talking about Tommy, am I going to forgive him because Tommy's out of the picture? Or am I going to remember that this is the type of person that Reza is, and no matter who I'm with, he's always going to kind of be like, and maybe he's completely unaware that he does this, but it's just kind of like a red flag in a relationship. Tanin's event's finally here. Tanin asks Vita for a glass of wine, and Vita says, no, I don't drink, But then she asked for a glass of champagne. Me and my daughter were laughing at this. Okay, Vita, do you not drink, or are you drinking? Like, come on. I did not know what the heck was going on here. Then Dennis shows up with Gigi. I really do like Dennis. He's a great friend. And he's proving himself to be supportive and a good business partner. He's helped Gigi so much as a friend and business partner, despite what she's done to him, especially on camera, and he's still there for her. That's a good person. He might not be a good boyfriend, might not be a good husband, considering he got married 18 times in 1 year, and it only lasted 20 minutes each. Probably unsure of what he wants romantically, but when it comes to making money in business, he's the right guy, and Gigi should be happy that he's stayed by her. Tanin and Sky are chatting, and Sky cries a little bit, and finally it's nice to see that they're actually coming back together, I think that cracked her in that moment, with Tanin, and that was great to see. She never said anything mean about anybody. She just said, come talk to me if you ever hear anything, which is really what Tanin did, because people like to stir up things, which I 1000% to agree with. And it could be unintentional. It's not like people intentionally take your words and misconstrue them, like we see Reza do. She says the word blah, blah, blah. Reza, if you were actually listening, why do you not repeat the exact words that were said? But she also noticed that the entire crew was listening to their conversation, and so she said, look, they're about to attack us like a bunch of hyenas. She never specifically said these guys are hyenas, but you know how hyenas do come attack? They all of a sudden, come in as a pack of wolves. I agree with exactly what she said. Production even showed them all just standing there listening to their conversation as if there was nothing else to do at this party. I mean, she's not wrong. And there goes fucking shit disturbing Reza regurgitating the exact words which were used, but then making them different, more aggressive, taking the words that she said, we're all shit talking. I didn't hear her say anybody was shit talking. I didn't hear her say that once. He got MJ mad because then MJ goes up to them and she's like, are you guys talking shit about me? And then this guy's like, nah, Bubba. No, man. Get out of here. What the fuck? Who said that? And then he got Gigi mad for absolutely no reason. And Gigi, Reza was just trying to start shit. Because when Gigi says, should I throw this drink on her? I didn't hear Reza say no. And Gigi threw Adam under the bus and said, well, Adam said yes. You guys are 40 years old. Throwing drinks on people? Seriously? If you didn't have any compassion or sympathy for Sky before, I feel like this scene would make you really appreciate and take in her character, because she's always held it classy. And that's just disgusting, Anyways, that was the end of the Valley Persian Cell Season 1. I loved it. I thought it was great, even with all the drama and all the characters, and some of them still not growing up, and some of them still being shit disturbers. Still a great season and episode. I loved it. Can't wait for Season 2. I'm not too sure if there's going to be a reunion, but, it was great, So with that being said, you guys, woo, we're done. Tamam shodim, ooh, tamam shodim. That means that we're done. That was great. Thank you all for being so invested in that one. That was a really good one. I just want to keep you guys aware moving forward when I do recaps of the new shows that are starting. I'm going to kind of keep it a little bit more simple, not so complicated, not so going through every little detail. It is getting a little bit more complicated for me to kind of be on top of all the shows, and I'm going to kind of shift a little bit the format again, because as I know what people want more, I'm going to kind of be answering a lot more questions from audiences, but still doing recaps of shows and kind of tying it into the whole mental illness and mental well-being and just wellness and whatnot. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, you guys. Don't forget I'm on Spotify, Apple, Podbean, everywhere that you can get your podcasts. Please, again, subscribe, like, and share. Find me on my socials. You can go into the show notes. You'll see me all there where you can find me. I appreciate you guys so much. We have made it past, almost 250 episodes. I'm so excited. And thank you for being on this journey with me. Next recap we're doing will be Southern Charm. I'm having another answer question episode next, another Dear Nas episode. Then I'm doing a Southern Charm, and more recaps coming up because some shows are ending, some shows are starting. Yeah. Thank you again, guys. Talk to you soon.